Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the WCW Saturday Night Review for the of uh, 9th of December, 1989. Loving the 1989 stuff. Anyway, we move forward. Kevin Sullivan and Jim Ross, your uh, team that is going to be kind of highlighting this, and then we go right into the action. The Samoan SWAT team, Samu and Fatu, the I guess second generation Samoan SWAT team there, uh, defeat with Sir Oliver Humperdinck defeating Rock Hard Rick and Mike Thor 307. Fatu pins Thor after a splash from the top rope. Very basic match as it were, nothing necessarily to write home about. Here to get the Samoan SWAT team over to the best degree that they possibly can. Again, Samoan SWAT team, Samu and Fatu, second generation stars. They look like $1,000,000. Very basic punch kick maneuvers, trying to take guys out in the corner. They do the mount a little bit, and ultimately a monkey flip by one of the head shrinkers or Samoan SWAT team, and then we see the top rope splash. 1, 2, 3, and off we go. Highlights of the upcoming matches, as it were, that are going to be coming to the local area house shows. Still promoting local area house shows here in 1989, just about a year after buying the promotion. Actually enjoying the 88, 89 time frame. I'm actually in watching 1987. So I'm gonna go through that eventually as well. Sting though is here. Sting is managing to go at it with the overall. Let's see here. The um, Bob Cook beats him by submission. 322. Not necessarily a match to write home about either. Sting, of course, going after Lex Luger's former friend. Luger having turned heel in the months before. We'll get to that in a minute or two. Sting actually casts Bob Cook to the outside. Cook, a phenomenal enhancement talent, and brings the man back in. Hits a Stinger Splash. Hits a Scorpion Deathlock, and ultimately the victory there. Lex Luger out next, or actually not out quite next, but then we go to the Midnight Express. Midnight Express, obviously, Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton. They are facing off against a couple of enhancement talents here. Obviously, Midnight Express still a tremendous tag team, shaking hands before the contest and managing to get things going in their general direction. There's a little bit of dissension with the run there. Paul Drake and Larry Santo are their opponents in a 5-minute challenge. Lane pins Drake after a flapjack. Cornette provides a guest commentary for the match, but had Santo and Drake lasted 5 minutes, they would have earned $10,000 of Cornette's money. Obviously, you're not going to have an enhancement talent series where guys are lasting 5 minutes, but it adds an extra added spice or a little extra added value, I guess you'd say, to the wonder of things here. Then we see a go behind into the armbar and tried to take down by Stan Lane. Lane taking the majority of the match, at least a good bit of it. Lane actually manages to get a victory there, and we see interference from or I guess you'd say highlights from the involvement of the Dynamic Dudes, with of course Shane Douglas and Johnny H being the dudes. Also, we see Sir Oliver Humperdinck promising that the Samoan SWAT team are going to win at the Starcade Future Shock Iron Man tournament series there. Then we move to another in series of matches, the Galaxian, facing off against his opponent of the day. The Galaxian is pretty consistent against the Z-Man here. The Z-Man, of course, Tom Zink. Zink, of course, a major force in the WCW over the next several years. Arm drag, though, by Zink, and Zink a couple years off of his run with the WWF. Zink, probably a guy that I look back at now and think he might have actually been a better run than average. Zink offering his hand, tries to shake the hand. Galaxian tries to kick him, spins him around, cross body, atomic drop, and a very basic enhancement match from Tom Zink. Zink manages to get the victory in pretty quick order. Then we see highlights of Ric Flair facing off against the Great Muta. I don't know that this is a full match here. Of course, Flair and Muta, pretty basic run here. Of course, Flair and Muta obviously getting ready for uh, the Starcade kind of deal there. Kendall Windham also defeats Rick Ryder 427 with a Bulldog. Windham obviously, after the Flair kind of recap situation, Windham 4 minutes 27 seconds. Not exactly in a hugely contested deal there. Also, there is a square off with Gary Hart and Ric Flair in the middle of the ring, basically telling Hart to have JTEX Corp ready as it relates to everything. Flair also promises that he is going to take over on and bring back the Horsemen in dominant fashion. Kendall Windham, who looks kind of a little off kilter in his enhancement match here, hits a couple of hard shots and the knee drop along with other offensive maneuvers. The Bulldog, though, by Windham kind of gets him going. He's obviously the more slender of the Windham boys, and he never really gets quite the nature of the victory he expects to have. Then we go to Woman with Doom, basically promising that the Steiners are going to be eradicated, with the team of Doom also out next with Woman and her bodyguard Nitron. Doom, of course, Ron Simmons and Butch Reed in a mask situation. Doom is not having any real problems with their atmosphere here. We see Norman the Lunatic at ringside with the fans as he is wearing a Santa hat preparing for the Christmas holiday. Italian Stallion and the Pro, which is Mike Awesome at 5:07. Ron Simmons pinning the Pro after clothesline off the middle ropes. Big, backbreakers and other basic, simple maneuvers, as it were, there as we go with Doom. Doom getting ready to be one of the more influential tag teams throughout 1990. So they're still building that. Shane Douglas and Johnny Ace defeat Pat Rose and Sean Royal when Ace pins, or Steve Regal, when Ace pins Regal after the wipeout. Not exactly a strong match by any stretch of the imagination. However, it is interesting to see Shane Douglas and the Johnny Ace basically saying they're going to be in a really good situation. Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors, talk about winning at the pay-per-view. They talk about jumping out of a airplane with a lack of parachute. They talk about taking other risks, and they talk about winning the Crockett Cup. Also talking about teaming up with the Steiners in previous weeks, as they are both babyface teams. Hawk is phenomenally jacked up here, to say the very least, and obviously nothing really going to kind of get things going that way. Then we see, as mentioned, the Dynamic Dudes. Really bad idea. I thought they were in 1990. I guess it's 89 where they were a thing. But very basic maneuvers. The Wipeout Splash, among other things. Shane Douglas manages to keep things going, and the Wipeout is a slingshot atomic drop over the ropes, as it were, and it's pretty basic. Gary Hart presents Buzz Sawyer and the Great Muta in a tag team contest here. Obviously, Sawyer and Muta are the key components of JTEX. They are willing to take a couple of easy enhancement matches here and there to get things going along the way. Muta is your TV champion at the time. Gary Hart and the Dragon Master on the outside for the match. Mike Hart and Rick Fargo, 431. Sawyer pins Hart with a splash off the top rope. Muta is using amazing depth of athletic maneuvers including the corkscrew elbow, the moonsault. Buzz Sawyer, who I think had he remained drug-free, might not have been as entertaining a promo, but is also amazing. His snap power slam is a big deal, and the top rope run here is a pretty big deal as well. Then we go to our main event, which happens to be Mike Rotundo against Wildfire Tommy Rich. Rotundo recently removed from the varsity club. Sullivan doing the babyface commentator role, at least for the time being. Rotundo talks a lot about getting, his hair pulled and all of that. Super slow match for main event, not exactly something to write home about, but very basic. There is a sunset flip attempt by, Tommy Rich. Rich tries to roll him up, and it looks like they have more for Mike Rotundo. Rotundo snaps him over, gets a bit of an advantage here, tries to take his man back into the corner. Rich manages to take that into several shots with the buckle. Clothesline by Rotundo. Rotundo gets the victory, and we almost close that off. But with about 3 minutes remaining, Lex Luger, your U.S. champion, against William Bell. William Bell and Luger are going to go at it pretty aggressively here. Luger hits a couple clotheslines and the torture rack backbreaker, and that leads to a victory for your U.S. champion Lex Luger. We will be back with more right after this.